Hello, and welcome to Contracts Over Coffee, the podcast where we talk about all things contracting while sipping a delicious coffee beverage. I'm your host, Ann Baker, Senior Director of Partner Marketing at Icertis. And today we're doing a very special edition of Contracts Over Coffee with our terrific partner, Microsoft. So Icertis and Microsoft have a long history of successfully working together ever since Microsoft became our first customer for contract lifecycle management many years ago. And we get asked frequently, how have we developed such a successful partnership with Microsoft? So to help us answer that question, today we've invited some key members of our Microsoft partner team to join us, namely Peter Martin, Director of Partner Development, Microsoft Global Partner Solutions, Shash Mody, our Partner Development Manager, and Amanda Klein, our ISV Partner Marketing Advisor. So cheers and welcome to the program, everyone.
Cheers.
Now we're going to, thank you, Peter. Now we are going to conduct this kind of interview today in a round robin style interview. And Amanda, I'm going to actually start off with you for introductions using the same question I use for all my podcasts. Amanda, what is your story?
Thanks, Ann. Hi, Amanda Klein. I'm the Partner Marketing Advisor, Global Partner Solutions US for Microsoft. And I help partners in a variety of ways, but it is about driving net new pipeline and bringing home wins. And so we're putting strategic and unique efforts in market, really highlighting the unique differentiators of our partners, specifically Icertis for this one, and then the power of the Microsoft platform. So my background, I actually was at a Microsoft partner, and I've also been with an agency in an executive capacity, and we were focused around customer experience. So customer obsession is a big deal for me, and I'm looking forward to our conversation today where we can focus on customers and partnership as well as contracts.
Thank you. Thanks for being here. And Peter, over to you. What is your story?
Hi, Ann. Yeah, so my name is Peter Martin, and I'm a Director of Partner Development in Microsoft's Global Partner Solutions organization. And as part of my role, I get to work with some of Microsoft's biggest and best partners, including Icertis, where my responsibilities include partner portfolio management, partner account development, partner solution management to ensure a comprehensive 360-degree relationship management. And I'm currently responsible for the global partner relationship between Icertis and Microsoft.
Excellent. Welcome. And last but certainly not least, Shash, what is your story?
Thank you for having me here, Anne. I'm also a partner development manager, specifically within the US team at Microsoft. We have a goal of helping our partners drive higher revenue outcomes through joint sales motions, solid strategy that we can go to industries and our customers with, and impact that can be measurable in dollars and cents at the end of the fiscal year. We have seen tremendous growth in the Icertis Microsoft partnership over the past few years, mainly because you are at the forefront of helping our joint customers manage contracts. And those contracts are on the most secure cloud on earth today, which is Microsoft Azure. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you. Welcome, Amanda, Peter, and Shash. Again, thanks for being here and great to have you on the program. I'm going to kick off the first question over to you, Amanda. And taking a look back, we've seen the world this past year kind of rapidly shift to remote work, with all organizations having to figure out ways to do more digitally. How is Microsoft engaging with its customers today to solve some of those digital transformation challenges that come with that shift to remote work? And how do partners like Icertis fit into that customer experience?
Yes, we did have to change overnight. It was quite dramatic. And so, I mean, there's a lot of things that Microsoft has done during this time of new digital transformation. I think the one thing that we all can connect with both personally and professionally is that, that personal interaction was stripped from us overnight. And so when we think about Microsoft Teams, that really did provide us that central place to, work and, communicate through cloud development and management. and learn and connect and teach and meet others. So, I think it's an exciting time to be communicating over Microsoft Teams. And we'll continue to see this as we transition to hybrid and in-office work environments. But, when I think about how Icertis, fit into this transformation, Icertis was truly a digital first responder. They provided solutions on the front lines. Their contracting was critical to help the speed of these clinical trials. When we couldn't meet in person, we had to do this virtually. You also think about people such as retailers, when we needed to have, shop online and pick something up at the store that day or the next day. Restaurants, transforming their, in-restaurant experience to, curbside pickup or delivery. So really, applications and that innovation around application was critical as we look at the transformation that we all had to go through. And so, from as we talk about Icertis, during this time, it was chaos, but they provided this single solution, this single source of truth and visibility to contracts and obligations. And it supported people within organizations, it supported departments in that process. And it was truly a heart of the organization. They ultimately, protected, hundreds of corporations, probably millions of contracts. Hopefully I'm not overspeaking that, Anne, but for, looking at their obligations that they have through their own contracts, and eliminated, that risk, as well as provided that protection for enterprise-wide security.
Yeah, it's amazing how much, and I appreciate this now that I work for Icertis, but how many different industries contracts cut through, and just the critical importance of them when something like COVID happens and you can't be in person to sign contracts. Just how important it is to be able to access them regardless of where you are, and gain those approvals, collaborate on them, edit them, and sign them as quickly as possible. So, being able to play one small role in helping companies like some of the largest pharmaceutical firms in the world speed vaccine trials and things like that because of contracts is something, we're very, very proud of. And, partners in general finding ways to work with Microsoft and help our customers achieve better outcomes is something I think we're all just trying to do, especially in times like we've had over this past year. And speaking of customers, Peter, we know Microsoft is both a customer and a partner of Icertis, and Icertis is both a customer and partner with Microsoft. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the contract management benefits Microsoft realizes by using Icertis contract lifecycle management enterprise-wide?
Yeah, sure. Happy to talk about that. Well, it's no surprise that Microsoft is a very large company by many measures, but the amount of companies that Microsoft also does business with is just staggering. And each of these engagements, whether with partners or customers or suppliers, requires the creation and enforcement of legal documents to uphold the strict Microsoft standards of business conduct. Using Icertis, the Microsoft Corporate and Legal Affairs Division empowers every Microsoft employee across the entire worldwide Microsoft enterprise to execute contractual due diligence for buy-side contracts, sell-side contracts, or corporate contracts in a streamlined and easy-to-use workflow.
Yes, I think that is something that we're really proud of here at Icertis is that ability. You forget, but contracts aren't just used to buy something; they're also used to sell things. They're used to manage your offices, your purchases for equipment, all different things. And so, being able to manage contracts across the organization is really critical. And really turning those contracts, which are static documents, into a strategic advantage by surfacing up the insights that are contained within them is something that we're constantly looking for, more ways to do for our customers. And I know, we value just so much the Microsoft relationship that we have there around our both our customer and our partner status. And to that end, Shash, we saw that Microsoft just announced the 2021 Microsoft Partner of the Year Awards. And we were honored for Icertis to win this year in the AI category for Partner of the Year. And we were also named a finalist for your Global ISV Partner of the Year award as well. So what do you think are some of the things that we're doing right together that help us achieve this level of recognition?
Absolutely. And what an incredible year it's been for Icertis and for our partnership. Just at the core of it, Microsoft is democratizing AI for everybody. And that partners are at the core of the strategy. Icertis' AI applications are absolutely at the cutting edge, which is why you were recognized by Microsoft as our AI Partner of the Year. I believe we had this tremendous win at our joint customer, Here Technologies, where Here used Icertis to automate contractual obligations across 70,000 legacy contracts that they had. They used your Discover AI app to extract insights and manage those contracts at scale, reducing the amount of time and risk associated with those contracts. Being able to drive AI into the hands of individuals is something Microsoft is very passionate about. And there are very few partners that are able to build applications that are truly usable by end users in the way Icertis is able to. Furthermore, Icertis' AI applications together with Azure AI and cognitive services are just a formidable combination together. And we just have so much opportunity to keep building on our early successes. And I'm tremendously excited to see what this year and many more years bring with it.
Yes, I certainly we take advantage of a lot of the AI capabilities within Azure to help execute all of our AI applications, and from doing things like helping to digitize thousands of contracts to helping you negotiate better by figuring out what clauses and terms and insights are in those contracts. The AI capabilities are just a perfect use case when it comes to contracts and having to comb through, sometimes millions in the case of Microsoft contracts to learn more about your customers, learn more about your obligations, commitments, and risks. So I love this combination of AI technology with contracts and just the very, applicable use case that comes with it. And shifting gears a little bit beyond AI, I know that one of the key focus areas for Microsoft this year was becoming more industry and persona specific, really trying to deeply understand your customers' unique needs. And after you understand that, then really aligning your solutions to better deliver on them through things like the industry cloud launches for retail and healthcare and other key industry verticals. So, Peter, what are some of the ways partners can get more involved with those industry go-to-market motions to help achieve success?
Sure. So over the years, we've seen cloud technologies give rise to digital transformation, which is now driving industry business transformation like we've never seen before. These transformational motions provide a growth opportunity for all partners to expand their target personas by more deeply considering how an ISV solution offering can provide value across line of business stakeholders, and many times across multiple partner and technology solutions. The recommendation here is for us to become deeply knowledgeable in the workflow systems and the processes of our customer industry priority scenarios, and figure out how to position our solutions for their successful business transformation.
Yeah, I know, Peter, this year, as you started rolling out these industry clouds, at Icertis, we really took a look at what is Microsoft's story for this industry, where, what solutions are they positioning? What are the pain points and challenges they're helping customers overcome? And then we were figuring out, well, where do we align? Where do our solutions fit into that story? And I think the guidance I would give other partners is, don't try to reinvent the wheel here. Really look at the thought leadership that Microsoft is providing and see how you can fit into it, so that Microsoft sellers can then go to market with a story they're familiar with and easily weave partners into it. I know that's what we've been doing, and some of the ways we've been fortunate enough to get included as an approved partner in your industry cloud catalogs. And it was wonderful to see us even highlighted in Adela's keynote at Inspire yesterday as one of your key industry cloud partners. So that kind of work, and it does take work, but it's worth it and it pays off. And I feel like these industry motions really help us resonate with a story that's very targeted to the customers we're going after together. But it isn't all roses, as we know. It isn't all great. There are some challenges. So, Amanda, what do you think is the biggest challenge for Microsoft partners or any partners today?
Yeah, so there's many challenges, and I'm going to just tag team on something that you talked about aligning to Microsoft, because this is a challenge that I see across many partners. So we focus through plays and priority scenarios, and snapping to those as a company and understanding where you fit within those plays or industry priority scenarios as we go to market or have those sales conversations. We collectively go after the customer together by doing that. And so organizing your campaign efforts in a way that aligns to what Microsoft is focusing on, we just look like a true team together going after those customers. So I'd have to say that's one thing just on the heels of what you said. But there are a couple other things that came to mind too, is, that innovation and time to market, that's a challenge for partners as we're continually trying to figure out what's next. But partners who are constantly and continually investing in their solution and offering, never really letting that paint dry moment happen, but rather than what's the next color? What is it that I need to address in market or for my customers that will provide them that transformation or that overcome that challenge? So at the same time, making sure that your time to market is fast and current with the changes that you're making with the solution, and don't be afraid to invest in that category either. Because that is how you're getting your solution to market. Along the lines of innovation, I think, I know we mentioned Icertis as Partner of the Year, but I wanted just to call out, that is where innovation is. When you receive a Microsoft Partner of the Year award, it's up against 4,400 nominations this year and over and across 100 countries. So to win Partner of the Year for AI, it is, look at what they're doing around innovation and how they're continually investing in their solution as an example. Mm-hmm. The second thing I just wanted to talk to was, or now it's the third, is that, that the pandemic really induced this digital jungle. And it's when we think about a go-to-market or a sales perspective, it's really hard to find and gain that credibility and obtain new customers. We've had this digital burnout of sort. It's one virtual experience after another. And so, how is it that we can connect in a meaningful way? I think traditionally we always thought about marketing as, or reaching our customers by, sending a message to hundreds of people at one time. And, we end up winning kind of with a 2 to 3% conversion rate on average, industry average, that is. It's the spray and pray approach, which really, it's too high and it suffers that efficacy of the message. And so rather than targeting hundreds at a time, maybe something to think about would be, who are your must-win logos, and who, and how can we create this really strong customer or industry relevant campaign and dominate that market, and having a win rate of 50%. And, one way I would suggest doing this is by looking at it by industry and maybe specialize specialize in like sub-industry or micro-focused industry. So for healthcare, look at payer, provider, life science. And by doing this, you understand not only the industry, but the personas and addressing their unique goals and their needs and their approaches. So I'll leave you with that. But those are things that I often talk to partners about, that it's not always about the largest numbers to go after, but rather than having that really relevant, customer outcome focused message with customers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are, I think, great tips. And we've certainly found, I mean, Microsoft helps us. I find you push us to, keep innovating and keep finding new ways to do more with all of your solutions and different solution areas. But it's really helping us rise to that occasion and challenge ourselves to try new things. And maybe they won't all work out, but as we're developing things together, we're finding ways to, just deepen our story together, and that really is resonating with both customers and your partner sellers alike. So, but there's always surprises and so and new things that are happening. So, Peter, what do you think people would be surprised to know about our partnership?
Well, for sure, I think the acknowledgement of the size and scope and critical importance of contract operations is now coming of age, as noted recently by both Gartner and Forrester review of Icertis. But what I think many will be surprised about next is the power of Microsoft blockchain leveraged by Icertis smart contract technology applied to large-scale contract operations involving hundreds or thousands of suppliers. Just think about the complexity of an automotive or airline or shipping manufacturer, where a single product, such as an airplane or cruise ship, could have millions of parts and thousands of suppliers, each requiring some kind of contract enforcement. Think about the intelligence that can be harnessed and extracted from such a process and provided back into, say, a procurement chief who is responsible for buying commodities worth billions of dollars, where timing is critical to a company's bottom line. Think about the ability to inject this intelligence back into industry workflow productivity solutions together with Dynamics 365. I think many will be surprised by the power of this technology and the investments by both Icertis and Microsoft.
Yeah, it's true. And we, throughout our partnership here, we've continued to evolve. And if you look at the Gartner report, actually, that you referenced, their most recent Magic Quadrant report, one of the strengths that we ended up getting in the Leaders Quadrant for was our integration, our deep integration with Microsoft and Microsoft products. So, contract management on its own is a strong product, but it gets so much better when you can pull in data from other systems like Dynamics 365, and when you can create and edit contracts through a linkage to Office 365, or collaborate on contracts with, your coworkers using Microsoft Teams. And so, the more downstream systems and upstream systems that we can integrate with to connect contracting data with data for opportunities and for for learning more about our customers and their needs, the more powerful CLM becomes. And we've certainly found our users want to be able to do contracting in the products they already know and love and use every day. So surfacing up those contracting capabilities in products like Dynamics 365 just makes that whole user experience so much easier for people and makes contracting less of a burden and something that they can do quickly. And then I think talking about challenges, surprises, how about some tips? So Shash, what is one tip about partnering with Microsoft that you wish every partner knew?
Absolutely. Well, the one thing I would tell partners is Microsoft has one of the most established and trusted enterprise sales networks in the entire world. We've got 1 billion users across 50,000 customer accounts and 20,000 sellers who are at these customers every day, helping them in their digital transformation journey. Again, I'm going to repeat this. 1 billion users, 50,000 customer accounts, 20,000 sellers. Many of our partners get overwhelmed on who to target, what the message should be, and how to scale. So the one tip I'd have for partners is focus is important, and focus drives ROI.
That's I think a fantastic tip. And you talked about scale, and I mean, Microsoft has just brought us such a tremendous ability to scale as a company, both through your stores, through your, reaching different partner sellers, bringing us into different accounts. And it's really a true partnership where we feel like everything we're investing into that, we're getting back, 10 times over. And just, it's been, well, you mentioned ROI. The ROI for us has been well worth it. And we're just excited to kind of see as we're heading into the new year here with you, what happens next. So to wrap things up, I usually like to ask a question about kind of what inspires people, look a little bit at community giving and like what we can do to make an impact and give back. And I can think of no company on earth that's more of a lodestar for social good than Microsoft. So Amanda, we've seen Microsoft just increase its focus on and investments on doing things around tech for good and making social change a reality. What do you think that partners can do to help there?
Yes, and so Microsoft does care deeply, and as does Icertis, and it's honestly one of the reasons I work for this company. And we've done so together. We drove conversations with in partnership with PwC and SAP, and hosting that supplier and diversity webinar and campaign, and really teaching others about how contracts can help drive compliance and diversity. And then just recently at Inspire, announced that with an announcement around the Microsoft Cloud for Sustainability, where we're leveraging, we're using this as a platform for our partners and our customers to measure and understand and take charge of their carbon emissions or set sustainability goals and take action. So it's really exciting time. We are here to make an impact, and we look forward to partners and customers joining that journey with us. So be sure to read the link we'll share out following the coffee podcast. Yes, that's how we're doing more around social and tech for good.
Yeah, and I will just say that we have found that, and certainly with that supplier diversity webinar, for example, focusing on topics like that are good for society, we've also found them to be good for business. That was a webinar and campaign that we did that resonated more strongly than almost any campaign we did this year. So we're finding that companies are hungry for ways to, make social change and impact their communities for the better. And technology is a key way of doing that. And specifically contracts, are a perfect way to kind of hold yourself and your company to their commitments around sustainability and around diverse supply chains. And so, we look forward to kind of working with Microsoft in the future here to find new ways that we can help companies, build a better world together. And with that, I will thank my wonderful partner team here for joining us today. It has been a real pleasure to have you not only on this podcast, but have the opportunity to work with you over the past couple of years here. And I just cannot wait to see what's next for us as a team and as a partnership. And for anyone else out there who wants to learn a little bit more about how Microsoft and Icertis work together, we will put an ebook at the end of our blog on this podcast that you can go into to learn more. And thank you again to all of you for being here, Shash, Peter, and Amanda. I really appreciate the time.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us here.